Okay, Namaskar sabhi ko. Hello everyone. I am Ajitesh Sharma, a former scientist and currently an entrepreneur and a content creator. So today we will be talking about how to analyze the defects in welding of Ti6Al4V alloy at sub-zero temperature above atmospheric pressure using acoustic emissions, a non-destructive technique. Sounds complex? Well, that was my left brain speaking. Former scientist, told you. Our topic is not that complex, it's simple. Though it's about the most complex organ of human body. That's brain. And that's what we are talking about. Why the left brain needs the right. But before we proceed further, I want to tell you one thing. That we will not be going to the depth of whether a person is left-brained or right-brained. Because the research in mid-19th century has already proven that both the hemispheres of the brain work in tandem. It's just that depending on the task we are doing, one brain gets activated. So we'll discuss what is this left brain and right brain about. So the left brain, if we talk, it's about the logic, language, grammar, analytics, calculations, and all the deep tech stuff. And if we talk about the right brain, it's the imagination, intuition, recognizing faces, structures, creativity, imagination, context, and the bigger picture. So it's depending on the task, one of the brain gets activated. If you are doing a routine normal office task, the left brain comes into the picture, and if you are doing some artistic thing, the right brain comes into the picture. And before moving to the central idea of the theme, central idea of the talk, let me tell you a story, because as a storyteller, that's what fascinates me. And it's a story about a rabbit and a tortoise. But you already know the story. Maybe some of you might have heard it from your grandparents. But don't worry, this is not the same story. It's the sequel of that story. It's about a tortoise and rabbit who are grandchildren of that old tortoise and rabbit. Now they have become friends. Moving over Khandani Dushmani, the generation lived. They bonded over years and they have become friends. Now one day, these two young rabbit and young tortoise, they are chatting. Not on WhatsApp, face to face, which is not often these days. But yeah, they are chatting face to face. And this discussion of the old race turns up. And now this young tortoise, he leaves no chance of ridiculing the whole rabbit clan for the laziness of that rabbit. And our young rabbit is not happy with that. And he challenges his friend. He says, let's do a rematch. Now the young tortoise calmly smiles and says, okay, but there is one condition. The track of the race will be decided by me. The young rabbit, warm-blooded, don't even think that why this condition, and accepts it. Okay. And the tortoise says the race will be in a river. And he left. Now this rabbit, now he knows that in this clash of these clans, he will be the one bringing more shame to his clan. And now he has only one thing he could have done. He goes to his grandfather. The same old lazy rabbit of your grandfather's story. And his grandfather, sipping coffee, his evening coffee, calmly listens to him and whispers something in his ear. Next day, the race day. Both tortoise, the young tortoise and young rabbit, they are at the river. Tortoise starts swimming. He swims and swims and goes far off. And when he turns back, he sees that the rabbit is sleeping below a tree. Like grandfather, like grandson. And he says, okay. And he keeps swimming. And our rabbit, young rabbit, when he sees that tortoise is quite far away in the river, he starts running. He runs and runs and runs and runs across the jungle and reaches to the other side of the river, the other bank of the river where the finishing point was. He quietly dips himself into the water a little bit, gets wet, and waits for the tortoise to come. And when tortoise comes, he sees rabbit is already there, wet. He don't know how he swim across the river, but rabbit has won. And this time, slow and steady, has lost the race. And what was the difference? And what is the moral of the story, if we can say? Be smart, be creative. Logic can take you places, but at times you need creativity. And now we'll bring to the core idea of the talk, that why the left brain needs the right. Take an example of a coder. Do you think he or she can relaxes after doing coding for a whole day? What he or she can do for relaxing? I know his manager will say, more coding. But then we will not be nice to that coder. But what about a guitarist? Can guitarist relax after playing whole day by playing more songs in the evening? Let's take some more example. Can a student who has taken classes whole day take more classes to relax in evening compared to a child who has drawn some pictures in the day and making more pictures evening? Or a lawyer who has taken more cases in afternoon and taking more cases in evening, can he relax? Or a painter who is painting more, or a dancer who is dancing on the new moves. But don't take me wrong, it's not about the choice of profession. It's about the reset. And we are not talking about both the brains working in isolation. We are talking about both the hemispheres complementing each other. And let me clear that with a personal example. When I was working at ISRO as a rocket scientist, I was working on the design of structural test rigs for rocket and launch vehicle structures. When they go through flight, there are different type of forces which are exerted on these structures. There are aerodynamic forces, there are propulsion loads, there are separation loads, there are thermal loads. And as a structural engineer, my job was to design a test rig through which we can test these structures at ground. So in my day job, I was doing that, and at home, I was writing stories. Those stories which I have to say sometime later in my life as a content creator. And mind you, that time the word content creator was not even coined. But there I was, writing some stories as a storyteller. And it's not about my story or my experience. Research proves that a student who is good in music tends to do better in studies. Qualitatively, there are many examples. For example, a doctor who paints tends to handle nuisances better. A designer who is, or an engineer who is also a sketch artist tends to design better. So this, as we discussed, is about both the brains complementing each other. Yeah. And the MBA inside me, I am MBA from Indian School of Business, the MBA inside me fascinates when we talk about framework. And to give you a framework to bring this whole talk into action, we'll do a 3-stage framework quickly. The first is, you have to find a river. You have to find a river to cross. If routine tasks are existing you have to find a river to cross, something which you can do, which resets you. For me, it was my writing. You have to find your river. The second is, you have to build a bridge. Now, no talk in modern times is completed without the mention of AI. So let's talk about AI to explain this point. What does AI depend on? Data set. The more the data set, the better the AI model. And what about our data set? What are we feeding on? We are feeding on reels. But ideally, our data set should be the books we read, the conversations we engage on, the travel we take, the experiences we indulged in. But what we are doing? We are reading less, we are listening less, we are conversing less. Remember your grandfather telling those stories and the experiences? That was a great data set for our natural language model. So you have to make your bridge plank by plank. You have to do something which can make this bridge. And third is crossing the river. So once you have identified your river, you have made the bridge, you have to cross it. If you are doing something routine which is exhausting you, You need to find something which refreshes you. Because logic, when repeated, drains you. And creativity, when you engage more, it refreshes you. So you have to find your, you have to cross that bridge which you have made. And coming to the closer of the talk, so to summarize this framework, you have to find your river, you have to make the bridge, and you have to cross the bridge. Remember our rabbit? He has found a way to cross the river. Remember that we should celebrate AI, but we should not discount the human intelligence. Logic can build the world, but imagination is something which makes it worth living. Thank you everyone. It was wonderful. Thank you TED. Thank you IITK. Signing off on it.